It's story about a soldier from a different world with the memory of being Japanese. After getting beaten by an orc club, he regains his memory of his previous life and survives the world of war despite the confusion. Leverage your lack of presence. Let's shake off the unfavorable things of the previous life and this world. From the third son of the Baron family to a high-ranking aristocrat, light territory management and special pets. The protagonist is not the strongest. Magic exists, but the protagonist cannot use it. It is a world where God exists. There is also gore, no harem.
When I reincarnated, I was a soldier, a man called the Red Shinigami. First chapter. The first scene begins with us seeing a carriage being pulled by a horse. Suddenly, an arrow pierces the cart, which is being driven by a horse-drawn cart. "Are we under attack?" someone shouted from the cart. "It's just one arrow." Inside the carriage sit a healthy man and a guy with long hair. The carriage stopped. The man got out of the cart and said, "Why aren't you going?" A man stood next to the carriage and said, "Hello, old man. The carriage is not moving because you no longer have a horse." "Pat, are you still alive?" "Who the bell is Pat? My name was Jin, right? And now it's Pat?" The black of my head hurts. Some of my fellow recruits have been screaming at me. Yeah, somehow, I am still alive. "Then pick your sword up and help me there." The orcs began to advance. It's time to join the fight. He took out his sword and started slashing at the monsters. "How difficult it is with you," he said. "Die, you stupid goblin." Suddenly, the Orc King appeared. "Archers! Fire!" His skin is too thick to be pierced by arrows. What should we do? "Stop the invasion at all costs," said the main character. While the archers were distracting the orc, he crept up behind him and struck him in the leg with his sword. The monster got angry and turned all its attention to him. The guy shouted, "Archers, the target is in his eyes!" The orc managed to strike the main character, and he lost consciousness. After this, the monster was defeated. Hospital. The main character came to his senses. "This is a medical camp for wounded soldiers." "I'm glad you woke up," said the guy with long white hair. "Where I am?" "It hurts very bad in my side." "You are very lucky that you did not die from the blow of the Orc King." "What happened to him then?" "After you fell, I hit him in the eye with a spear. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have beaten him, Pat." "I'm worse impressed that you were able to get behind him." "No. I got struck and passed out, remember?" "Get some sleep. I'm going to go tell the captain that you are awake." An army of orcs was discovered, and the 3rd Battalion of the Kingdom's 1st Army was ordered to attack. The Orc King and his men have been killed or wounded. The citizens are unharmed. Wayne didn't even know I had cut his ankle tendon. After all, I'm a former Japanese. The 3rd son of a baronial family on the western frontier of the Mental Kingdom, 15 years old, considered as an adult in this world, and he joined the Royal Army when he soon came of age. Pat, real name is Patrick Rigsby, and the recollection of the Japanese, I need to sleep. I can't even remember why I joined the army in the General's office. Patrick Rigsby is awake, Comrade General. Thank you for the report. You are free, the General answered displeasedly. What about the reward for Rigsby? He did a really good job. I didn't expect him to defeat the Orc King, the chief said. The General appointed the following reward: 3 gold coins and promotion to sergeant, and also 2 gold for Sergeant Wayne and 10 silver for the rest. Wayne Kimball is the same guy with long white hair who fought alongside Rigsby. It was he who kissed the main orc in the eye. Pat sits in the room and rejoices at his reward. He dances over his gold coins. Hello, Pat. What kind of dancing is this? 1 gold coin is a lot, 10 million fen, and Pat had as many as 3 coins. "What are you going to do with this money, Pat?" Wayne asked. 30 million yen. They went to a weapons store nearby. He entered the store and began to look at the goods. Spears are surprisingly very expensive. "I saw your spear in a single blow. That is why they give out used spears to new recruits. You were clubbed to the core. This is the reason why I had to use the two-handed sword that was provided to me." Spears are often used as the primary weapon, being cheap with prices star, oating at 50 silver coins. In this world, you can fight monsters from a distance. Weapons that deal mass destruction are more important than money. There are also people who focused on looks. Some people focus on the handling and weight. Those that are focused on the sharpness and durability of the weapon. I'd prefer a sturdy one with just the right amount of weight. What about you, Wayne? They continued to explore the assortment of the weapons store. It's hollow and it's not that heavy. It looks heavy, an iron spear. It looks heavy. In that case, this will do. What's the price? Wayne asked. They started bargaining. That's the limit. 1.70. There's got to be something in there. 1.65. No, it's made by a good craftsman and made of iron. How about 1.75? That's too expensive. 1 gold coin and 50 silver coins. I prefer lightweight and something sharp. The other one here has a normal length with a slightly smaller tip. It's lighter to hold, but I assure you that its cutting performance is excellent. This one here has a slightly shorter handle, so it's lighter and easier to use. The blade is also impeccable. This is what you're looking for. You can hit the back of the head with a longer reach, right? The one with the short tip, but is it expensive? This time, we're offering a special offer for that spear. 1 gold coin. Deal. Thank you for the purchase. The morning has come. Lamps and candles are very expensive, and firewood is also quite pricey. That's why an average person inevitable wakes up early. There's no electricity in this world. I need to go for a morning run and then breakfast. Black hard bread, bean soup, and fried bacon. The bacon's the best part. There are all sorts of so-called monsters around the royal capital, patrolling the capital to maintain the security of the royal capital, guarding the capital gate, and patrolling around the royal capital street. Then, the soldiers of the royal army will begin their duties. Adventurers also exist in this world. Some adventurers are commissioned by individuals to hunt down demons or gather medicinal herbs. I don't get involved in things I wasn't asked to do. Soldiers patrol the area around the camp. Well, maybe not today. I heard there were 3 of them yesterday. I guess they are not here this time. Goblins thrive in packs. What do you think, Captain? Yes, sir. Copy that, sir. Don't let your guard down. They might be out there waiting for us. It has only been a while since yesterday, hasn't it? I have a feeling that they're still out there. When Patrick was promoted to sergeant, he was given 3 people. 3 squads, 1 platoon on its first mission. They decided to go deeper into the forest with a detachment. Patrick stopped everyone and said, "Stop." Patrick began to give instructions. Sergeant Wayne's squad will take the right. Captain Tony's squad will take the left. Corporal Mirko's squad will start in the middle with me. Got it? Wayne, Tony, set the time. The attack will begin 5 minutes after they start moving. There's also a useful item called the magical clock. This world has 360 days in a year, 12 months in a year, 24 hours in a day. 1 hour is 60 minutes. he gave the command. All squads, move out. They split up and followed Patrick's instructions. The first group noticed a group of orcs eating a large killed animal. Patrick shouted, "Fire!" The archers began to shoot, kill them. Each of you stay alert and let's get this over with. The battle has begun. Wayne shouted, "If you let it go, they'll turn into zombies. Cut off their heads. Secure only the nose for subjugation proof." What the hell? A huge troll appeared. Trolls! What are they doing here? All hands to battle stations. Grab your bows. Fire at will. The archers continued to shoot at the troll. It's time to prepare the spears. Wayne managed to land a strong blow on the monster with his spear. But this is not enough. He did some more damage to the troll. Suddenly, Patrick shouted, "Wayne, duck down!" And he struck the troll with his new spear into his open wound. A moment later, the entire team stood in silence. The troll splashed everyone with his green liquid.
The fighters were recovering from a tense battle. "Hey, cut this troll's head off." "Yes, sir. Did anyone get hurt?" "There are no serious injuries, just some scratches." "All right then, let's bring this troll's head back to report." Pat is already at the base. He stands near the door behind which people are talking. "That's the end of the report. Colonel, thank you for your hard work. I'll check the rest." The conversation continued. "But it's up to the captain in charge to decide which unit to send out. We'll send out a troop to investigate. Roger that. Then I'm gonna go meet 2nd Lieutenant Pagenaud." "We are still not sure how many there are left. Colonel Lydon, should we try to investigate?" Pat decided to go to bed. As soon as he lay down in bed, he heard screams. "Wake up! Don't fall asleep! Where are the bandages? Quickly! Hurry up and bring a stretcher!" In the next room, wounded soldiers were being rescued. Pat burst into the room. "Hey, what's going on? Is he a staff sergeant?" He saw that a wounded soldier was lying on the table. "It's a subjugation troop for the trolls in the forest. They defeated them and brought back the corpses of 2 trolls. They have just returned. Initially, there were 15 men, but 3 have died." Pat looked at it silently and thought, "Who is the commander? These guys, they wanted to have immediate results, so they decided to send the team out at night?" Fighting at night in the forest is suicidal. No matter how many men they have, fighting trolls at night is impossible. No one should walk in the forest at night. Moreover, they still persisted to fight at night, even though it's the most basic combat training knowledge. "Colonel Lydon, I've brought the 2nd Lieutenant's achievement record. The commander of the troll extermination troop this time. What kind of person is 2nd Lieutenant Scott Pagenaud? It's impressive that a few men were able to defeat 2 trolls, but how did he dare send the troop out to fight at night? Was he trying to die doing that?" They summoned the commander responsible for this reconnaissance. "It's the 2nd Lieutenant Scott Pagenaud." He walked proudly into the room, hoping that he would be promoted to lieutenant. "We have defeated the trolls. We even brought back 2 of them, and some of us were able to return. I might get promoted to lieutenant." The boss asked him, "2nd Lieutenant Pagenaud, what do you think about this time's casualties due to your operation?" "Casualties? I think this is the least casualties for an operation that has brought back an immediate result." He did not understand his guilt. "All of that, and you still said it was the least?" asked the general. "Not to mention it's extremely dangerous to fight at night. The mission was to investigate, but you operated entirely on your judgment. We have lost 3 out of 15 men." "About that," answered the lieutenant. "That's how the positions have changed. 2nd Lieutenant Scott Pagenaud got demoted to corporal. Corporal Wayne Kimball got promoted to sergeant and was rewarded 3 gold coins. Sergeant Patrick Rigsby got promoted to lieutenant and was rewarded 5 gold coins. 1 month after the troll extermination, Lieutenant Patrick, the colonel is looking for you. The detachment, on the orders of the general, found Patrick. What order did the general give? Pat asked. He's looking for me? Did I do something wrong? Who knows? I was just told to call you. Patrick, he returned to base. This time we are going to clear the main road. The colonel has ordered. All squad leaders gathered to discuss tactics. Commissioned officers will also join this campaign. We must eliminate every obstacle until then. The Crown Prince will come to inspection in 10 days. We can easily prevent the monsters. The problem is probably the bandits. What do you think, Wayne? Patrick asked. A troop was sent out to the nearby forest to scout, but they found no trace of the bandits. You have disguised as a noble carriage to check around recently, right? Patrick stood up and said loudly, "Let's proceed with the plan. Tomorrow morning we will begin to prepare, and on the day after tomorrow we are going to equip each and every one. We see bandits who are going to rob people. Each wagon has 4 men, sounds good. All of their luggage, expensive goods, and the number of men are calculated." The bandits suddenly attacked and a fight broke out. The thieves thought that everything was going according to plan. But Patrick came up with a good plan earlier. He and his squad disguised themselves as ordinary people, and when the bandits attacked, they had to fight back. We don't have many men outside because there were men hiding inside waiting for you. We deliberately let the bandits predominate to make them drop their guard, then counterattack. The bandits began to retreat. There are more men inside the wagons. This is bad. You guys must quickly retreat. As soon as the main bandit said these words, Pat appeared and cut off his head with a sharp dagger. The bandits were defeated. Who are that died? We have eliminated 51 men and captured 1 man. For our side, 2 killed, 3 injured. Over. Then rearrange the formation. Take a horse carriage to bring the 2 killed and the 3 injured back to the capital, and looking for their lair at the same time. We are not sure whether they have a lair or not. Interrogate the captured man. Patrick was upset. He worried about those people who died in battle. Patrick, don't look so glum. Losing 2 men in a fight against that many enemies is considered little. Wayne, even if you said so, but still, I feel sorry for those 2 families. If only I was stronger. The others tried to interrogate the captured bandit. We have interrogated that bandit, but he has been keeping his mouth shut tight. Have you found out about their hideout yet? No, but the platoon commander is interrogating him. The soldiers continued to torture and interrogate the captured bandit. Hey, open your eyes and look at me. Don't say it yet. I'm trying to keep you from dying. I still want to hurt you more. Do you think I will spit it out with damn it just this much? Looks like it will take him quite a while to recover. I'll say it. Please stop, answered the bandit. The bandit is ready to tell everything, but no, I haven't played enough. I'll say everything. I'm begging you, let me say it. He spitted it out. Their hideout. What did he do to make that guy talk? Did he always look like that? The bandit was sitting in the torture room. He was badly beaten. How are we supposed to clean this mess? No wonder he said it. Pat, I think you overdid it. Those soldiers are complaining, eh? But I didn't do much, though. This is nothing compared to what I used to do before. He's just a bandit, isn't he? Why are you so indifferent? Did you not feel anything after that? Patrick had no regrets. He had changed. Didn't we come here expecting to kill? We would kill them whether they were bandits or cockroaches. Are bandits and cockroaches the same? They went to the place indicated by the bandit. I think that cave is their hideout. Wayne's squad and my squad, we are heading in. The rest split out to scan the surroundings for any living creatures. That guy told us the truth. This is their food depot. All the spoils are at the front, and over there is the armory. At first glance, there was no one in the cave. They walked forward and found a weapons cache. They went even deeper into the cave. There they found 3 people. He's right, there are 3 people over here. Please excuse me, I know you are nobles, but may I ask your names? I'm Patrick Rigsby, a 2nd lieutenant of the Kingdom's 1st Army. According to the testimony of a captured bandit, we are here to protect you. The Royal Army? Then I'm relieved. I thought you were just adventurers. I'm Carlos, and this is our escort, Mark, the 3rd son of the Marquis, Kevin Dixon Sama. First of all, I'm going to break these bars. Would you mind staying back? Said Pat. They began to thank Patrick's squad. I'm grateful to you for saving us. We will never forget this favor of yours. I'm just doing my duty. Please don't bother, sir. No, I will definitely tell my lord about you. I genuinely just ran into you while doing my duty, Pat replied. The man asked, You said your name is Rigsby, correct? Yes, sir. Pat didn't really want to talk about his family. It's a bit embarrassing, but I'm Patrick, the 3rd son of the Rigsby. However, I was kicked out of the house, so don't bother about that family. Then Patrick, Sama, I truly appreciate. I already told you I was just doing my duty. These people continued to insist that Patrick accept their reward. We'd be ashamed if you declined the gratitude of the Marcus family. Although my servant has already expressed our gratitude for you, I still have to thank you. You are the captain, aren't you? He's quite clever for his young age. In that case, I'll have to show even more gratitude to you. You're admirable for being a platoon commander at such a young age. Yes, I'm currently the commander of this platoon. Even if you ran into us while doing your duty, you still did a good deed. I understand. Let's talk about this matter later. Now the detachment is faced with the task of returning these people home. Right now, we should return to the main road. We'll give you a ride back to the Marquis's residence. As expected of the Royal Army, you can easily get through this many monsters. It's because our commanders are powerful. The squad commander would strike frontal attacks. Then all the platoon commander needs to do is give the final blow from behind. There's a large-scale unit ahead of us. How many of them are there? Are they bandits? No. I believe you can see their flag. Flag? In that case, all units stand by and wait for order. Let's also raise our flag. They raise their flags up, and the guys from the army of Marquis Dixon approach them. I'm Redeman on behalf of Rahal, the commander of Marquis Dixon's Army Cavalry Division. Greeting to the Royal Army. I'd like to speak to your commander, he said. Patrick introduced himself. I'm 2nd Lieutenant Patrick Rigsby from the Kingdom's 1st Army, the commander of this platoon. The commander of Cavalry Division asked, 2nd Lieutenant Patrick Rigsby, what is the reason for you and your platoon to be here? While we were on our mission looking for the bandits' hideout, we have rescued people of the Dixon family. We are on our way to the Marcus's residence. Please report this to your commander. For real? Just like that, we have safely entered Marcus Dixon's territory. There should be nothing for us to worry about now that we got into this region. If not for the Royal Army this time, Kevin Sama might have lost his life. We'll get to the mansion soon, 2nd Lieutenant Rigsby. Commander Rahal, please excuse us for bothering you. Well, if you said so. In order for us to show our gratitude, we'd like 2nd Lieutenant Rigsby to meet our lord. After receiving the invitation, I thought everyone was tired, so taking a break in the middle of the mission should be fine. All units marched towards Marcus Dixon's mansion. They arrived in the domain of the royal family. The father was glad to see his little son. Rigsby's squad was received very warmly. They were fed and watered, and sleeping places were prepared for them. Not only did he treat us to a feast, but he also rewarded us. He even prepared beds for us. He's too kind. Lieutenant Rigsby, do you have a moment? Yes, my lord. Thank you, Than. Please accept my heartfelt thanks for you one more time. I'm truly grateful not only for Kevin, but for all three of them. I truly didn't do much. You have also helped us complete our mission. We are grateful to you too. No, this much is nothing compared to you saving my son's life. I'm just a soldier. He doesn't have to be 50 humble. This man, he's acting like this even though he's a noble. I don't know if I can ever repay you enough for saving my son from being tortured and humiliated by the bandits. So, Rigsby, is there anything else that you wish to have? The Marcus family will help you get whatever you want. I don't need anything. Does he still want to give me more? No, no, no. I'm in the middle of a mission. Please let me know if you have any problems. Sorry for bothering you. Thank you very much. Please excuse me. I'm going to bed now. The next day, then, my lord, Kevin-sama will be returning to the royal capital. Farewell. It is the royal capital. The mission of eliminating the monsters and the bandits is accomplished. I will not report it since the Marquis asked me to keep his family's incident a secret. Well done. Everyone can take 2 days rest. The soldiers too. Please excuse you very much. Hey, Rigsby's platoon seems to do well, huh? It does seem to be that way. It's all thanks to you holding 2nd Lieutenant Rigsby in high regard that he and Sergeant Kimball have improved a lot. In that case, them meeting the royal family should not pose any problem. If His Highness didn't want to be escorted by a small number of people, then there would be no need for cleaning to begin with. For some reason, His Highness hates to move with a large number of people. His Highnesses prefer NCs are troublesome. They always are. Days after we rescued the Marquis family, everything is going well. Moreover, I heard the eldest son of the Marquis has been engaged. The whole city is celebrating. What's the matter, Wayne? Patrick asked. The Empire's movement is suspicious. The Empire's movement? Just like that, the joy gradually faded. The Empire's movement is a mighty empire to the west of our kingdom. The Empire, or more precisely, the Sabine Empire, they have been in dispute with the neighboring countries over the mines near the border. They are racial supremacists. The Western Army is powerful, but Marquis Weston's army is... What do you think? So, are we going to attack and take over the mines, or are we going to defend the border with the Western Army and Marquis Weston's army? Apparently, Marquis Weston's financial situation is not good currently, thus his force has weakened. I have a bad feeling about this. And so, a few days have passed. That news has quickly spread throughout the army. Apparently, something has started. Has the Empire made its move? The general and his subordinates are sitting at a long table. The Western Army is the situation currently keeps swaying back and forth, Your Majesty, fighting on the border. Just what the hell is Weston doing? According to the report, it'd take them some time to put together the force. It takes time, they said. It's more likely that they don't even have enough men to put together. Rumor has it that the Marchioness has squandered their expenditure. It's not a rumor, it's a fact. Roger. First, tell the Western Army to hold out and send 1,000 soldiers of the Southern Army to the Sabine Empire's border. A few days later, Weston has betrayed us. The Marquis's army attacked the Western Army from behind when they were fighting with the Empire's army. The Western Army suffered heavy casualties. The fortress has been taken over by the enemy. The survivors have joined with the Southern Army. Brigadier General Lanigan has been killed. I've came back as the colonel of the Southern Army's command to report the situation. So they colluded with the Empire. Those Weston bastards, even a man like Lanigan has... We must send the Royal Army this instance. The Empire's army and those Weston traitors must be destroyed. Patrick was handed an important piece of paper. 2nd Lieutenant Rigsby, it's a summons. Apparently, they have betrayed us. Is it about Marquis Weston's army? I came from Rigsby. Are you sure about this? But Rigsby looked at the paper and thought, "My family owns a territory to the west, not to mention they have long been close with the Marcus family. Whatever it is, this must have some relations to my father. I'll have to think carefully since confronting the Westons means I'd have to go against my own family." "I see. Then it all depends on the superior's judgment. But what would other people say? I myself will never betray the kingdom." Patrick Rigsby is present. Patrick entered the room. All the executives of the government and military are here. General Andretti, the leader of army, began to say, "Second Lieutenant Rigsby, my apologies for calling you here." "Please excuse me." "Then, what do you want to ask me?" Patrick answered. "Is the relation between the Westons and the Rigsby strong enough to cover for each other, even if one was convicted with treason? First of all, please let me explain my family situation." Patrick began to explain the current situation. "My mother has passed away. My father and his brother's wife are avaricious. Just like the Westons, the taxes from their territories alone were not enough for them. Since the debt was considerable, I suppose if the Westons had offered to lower the interest or even reduce the principal, they would be willing to betray their nation. So they asked the Westons to help them with money. Besides, taxes of the empire are collected by the lords. If the empire promised to make the Weston one of their aristocrats if the empire wins, then it's not surprising that they were willing to betray us. Is there any confirmation of that promise?" "There isn't any, but I could never trust people who were willing to betray their nation for whatever they were offered. Why did you mistrust people from your own family so intensely?" "May I take a moment to tell you about my background, though it could cost us some time?" "I see. So it's certain that the Rigsbys have done things that could be considered treason. Is there anything else?" "Your Majesty, the Marshal, I believe there are other traitors too." "Who?" "Other families that also borrowed money from the Westons are Viscount Harter, Baron Carey, and Baron Ease." But where did you get all of this information when you have already cut ties with your family?" "I still keep in contact with my mother's family. I heard this from them." "All right, I've got a general grasp of the situation. I entrust General Andretti with leading the army, Second Lieutenant Rigsby. I have a mission for you." The general answered, "It's an honor, Your Majesty." "Then, may I know what the mission is?" General wanted to put trust in Patrick. Patrick ran to Wayne to ask him to look after his squad of fighters. "Wayne, what's the matter?" "His Majesty, the Marshal just issued me an edict. I must go right away. Please take care of the platoon for me." Wayne was at a loss. "By the Marshal? Do you mean His Majesty the King? What? I'll be in charge of the platoon?" "Wait a moment. An edict? The Marshal? What's going on? It's not that I have any other choice. I'll entrust the platoon to you. I can't go into detail, but yeah, you got the general idea. Also, I'll take 2 men from the platoon with me." "What?" "Just what is going on?" Wayne thought. "The Royal Army, advance. Our march towards the west has been going smoothly. We'll enter the Western territory by tomorrow. Ambush. It's an ambush. They are truly the shame of the kingdom. Then we will proceed as ordered. The Empire has invaded this far in. As expected, the Weston has betrayed us. Charge at the Westons. The battle has begun. To think of forts that were built in the Western territory to protect the kingdom from the enemy's attacks are now being used against us. Hurry up and break the carriage's walls down to use as shields. We must have something to block the arrows. The shields turned out to be not the most reliable. Can this even be called a shield? Will it really work? The opponents began to shoot arrows. Our army tried to defend itself with homemade shields. Keep breaking the wooden boards. It works. We can really use them as equipment. The fight continued. Roger, kill them all before they can shoot arrows.
At this rate, we might be able to break into their fortress. Suddenly, the cavalry appeared. It was unexpected. Wayne was very angry. He began to cut down horses and people on horses with his sword. Don't freeze. Try your best to keep a safe distance. Hang in there. Our cavalry is coming. Just hold on. Are there still more? The soldiers' morale has started to weaken. Look, their food depot is on fire. Without food supplies, they'll be starved in a matter of days. We already won. The food depot was burned. What's going on? Wayne thought.
The enemy's food depot is burning. What happened? Is something going on? Earlier. Second Lieutenant Patrick, what would be our plan of operation? It's that simple. We are going to infiltrate the enemy's base undetected, then burn down their food depot. You mean disguise as our enemy to infiltrate them? Is simple? But if it's the second lieutenant, then I'll break in there, so I'll count on you two to keep watch. Even if it's the second lieutenant who breaks in, someone might still notice. Then I'll get going now. The second lieutenant is really going to do this alone. I'm not even sure whether he will be able to return. It must be here, right? The shack they use as the food depot. This must be it, right? It's a shame to waste the food, but this much gasoline should do. Patrick poured oil on the food and used matches to set it on fire. A huge fire started. Then, all right, huh? Where does the smoke come from? What? Next is... The enemies began to shout. The food depot is on fire. Quick, get water. There's fire here too. We must put over the fire. Isn't that bastard the one who killed the head chiefs? I've even joined the territorial army, yet I still ran into him. I can't stay here any longer. The Grim Reaper is here. I'm back. Second Lieutenant, you should have given us some sign as you approached. It's going well without any problems. Their food depot was completely burned down. Everything is in chaos. The next day, the rebels have started to retreat to the West Fort, so their food depot was really burned down. Without food, their fighting spirit greatly diminished. The kingdom's army has also started pursuing the enemy. Meanwhile, the Westons are at a disadvantage. The Harders, the Garys, and the Ages have fled to the West Fort, and there are the Rigsbys. We must be quick. The kingdom's army has flooded the Westons' territory. If we don't hurry up, we will have no way to escape if they lay siege to the West Fort. Why do you have to run away? We can just counter by saying we have nothing to do with this. It's too late now. Out there are soldiers with our family crest. What about our sons? They are already there with our army. All we have to do now is bring food and money there. They have arrived. That damn old geezer. Sir Inspector, please take a good look at my resolve and what I'm about to do. Of course, I'll report to His Majesty later. Then I'll start right away. Patrick picked up the bow and started shooting. What? An ambush? There was an arrow shot at us. If that's all, then don't mind it. Hurry up. Accelerate to the fort. Hurry up. Hey, what are you doing? Hurry up and move. The old geezer. Hey, I don't think that's possible. Even the horse has run away. Patrick? The old man asked in surprise. Yo, long time no see. You damn old man. Who sent you here? How dare you speak to me like that? What are you doing here? Are you... Second Lieutenant? There's no way you could have risen to the rank of Second Lieutenant in just a year. You must have stolen the rank badge. It must be from the previous Second Lieutenant who has fled. Yes, I'm a Second Lieutenant of the Kingdom Army. You did it so that you could return to our family, didn't you? Patrick hit the old man hard. Geez, you talk too much. So annoying. What's going on? Darling, are you being transported to a pork butcher shop? How dare a child of misfortune like you speak to me like that? This is unforgivable, said the fat woman. What are you going to do about it then? That old miser is still rolling on the ground, Patrick replied. Get out of here. I'll let you go this time. Get lost. Patrick calmly replied. What do you think? Was your brain eaten up by maggots? I'm a member of the Kingdom Army, and you two are rebels. He hit his father hard again, and he fell to the ground. Do you still think you can get away? Hey, old man, I'll give you a little favor. Do you know what you have done? He was going to kill him. Well, wait, I'm sorry. Please spare me. Please spare my life. I swear, if I was the one who did it, I'd die right here and now than who sent my mother to her death. Marianta! It was Marianta! You sold me out? Shut up! You said it yourself. Didn't you decide to do that because black eyes are supposed to be cursed? You're so noisy, just shut up. No! Wait! Instead of killing me, why don't you go back to being a part of our family? Why did the Rigsbys side with the rebels? If we follow them, the Westons will erase all of our debts, answered the father. Patrick waited for an answer and killed him. It took longer than expected. Then next is, your turn, you fat pig, all right. I'll cut you loose. Isn't this your favorite game that you always play? It was his father's sister. She tried to raise him as a child. He remembered her all her sins. You would beat someone up until they couldn't escape like this. You even used stones to hit people's faces. Please, spare me, she begged. Do you think I'll listen to you, vermins, please? Wasn't this what you said? Every time we begged you. Hey, you treated me like a cursed child, an insect. But I'm not that bad of a child. Now am I? You dirty child of a concubine? That woman gave birth to a cursed child? A filthy bitch like her deserved suffering a death from poison? It was you. You were the one who poisoned her. You must suffer an agonizing death like my mother. He killed her. He cut off her head with a sword. Patrick remembered his mother. Mother, I've taken revenge. It's all done. There is a lot of food inside the carriage. Shall we have lunch? We would like to respect, fully decline. What is this? Another carriage. Is the carriage in front of Baron Rigsby's family? Why would they stop here? Please stop by them. Are you from Baron Rigsby's? I am Baron Curly. Did anything happen? Oh, Patrick took a hit on this guy. Here the traitor comes, Baron Curly. If so, the rest must also be destroyed in the end. I can only kill Curly's family and his idiots rather than progressing to the infantry of the Kingdom Army. I arrived in the citadel early, but the gate was closed. From where should I break in? This citadel is fully defended. All surfaces are walls, totally different from Niwaka Citadel. But no matter how strong it is, there will be holes, and this time, Kingdom should attack from the other side. In short, although the back door is strictly guarded, but front gate still allows merchants to transport goods. Security is weaker there. What if I break in with a delivery truck? What's inside the carriage? Wheat, salt, and beef. Jerky. Then we have to check them first. Oh yes, please, replied the driver. The security began to inspect the cart with food in which our characters were sitting. They were wondering how they could get inside. What's wrong? Nothing strange. Go, said the guard, and they got inside the fortress. We're in Citadel now. I will be in charge of searching the foodware. House, you guys make sure that this merchant doesn't snitch on us and wait for the right opportunity. Why is the food storage on fire? Extinguish the fire first, quickly. A traitor? The enemies began to shout. "Reinforcements have arrived! Lieutenant Simon have kept you waiting for a long time!" Second, Lieutenant Rigsby did a great job. Leave the rest to me. I'm just a weak person. It all thanks to everyone. Patrick and his soldiers opened the gate from the inside and let in the army. Well, quietly close the back door. We will enter from the side door. The enemies tried to put out the fire. "We don't have enough water. Limited water storage. Don't let the fire spread anymore. Put out anything that's on fire." What's that sound? They noticed that the army had made its way into their fortress. The archers began to fire. Enemies ambush. Quickly pick up your weapon at this rate. All in battle position. Stop putting out fire. The enemy who has no weapons, kill them all. Patrick took out his sword and began to cut down his opponents. "Seems to have cleaned up almost all of them," said Patrick. No trace of the Empire's leaders could be detected. They might have escaped long ago. There were still many enemies in the fortress. They need to be found, but the back door is already occupied by us. If someone ran through the front door, they would definitely get caught, unless they have another way to escape. Is there a side gate near the main gate? If that's the case, then they must have escaped before the food warehouse caught fire. The Empire's leader is the stupid Crown Prince. I must find him. Cavalry, search the area around Citadel. Clear. The Empire's Crown Prince. Rudolph escaped. With his food running low, if he made it a priority to return to his own country. Lieutenant Patrick, from now on, I will scout the surrounding forest area. Please return to the fort that connected the running dragon. The enemies fled on horseback. Damn it! Why doesn't an entire village have any food left? Your Highness Rudolph, if you run for another half a day, you'll probably reach the next village. Let's go into the forest to find some food there. They are trying to get to the neighboring village. Where are we? How long will it take to reach the next village? The road is getting worse and worse, so we will easily fall if going fast. We have to camp here tonight. There it is! A rabbit! There is smoke rising. Apart from Crown Prince Rudolph. Are there other Empire leaders? No! They're high-ranking nobles with those costumes I see. Let's catch them then. Patrick decided to go after the fugitive alone. Hey, I'm going. Are you going by yourself? Well, it's harder to be detected this way. After a while, Patrick found him. He was sitting and trying to cook a rabbit for dinner. Patrick put a knife to his throat and told him to surrender to his squad. Don't move. If you do anything, I will kill him. If you do anything shady, I will also kill you. The rebellion was quelled. They avenged the invasion of the imperialists and the rebellious aristocracy. Untie the rope. That's right. Take it off fast. I'm the next Baron house owner. Lieutenant Rigsby, are they brothers? Yes, but Gomi isn't as valuable as Cass. Why do we have to put up with you guys? His Majesty has entrusted the handling of them to you, and it must be said that how you handle it affects a second lieutenant's evaluation. I understand. If that's so... Not only did the older brother not stop his master's rebellion, hence the sentence is to be carried around the kingdom, stoned, and then beheaded. The younger brother's conviction is to be interrogated by soldiers, and then stoned. Hey, watch your mouth. Don't joke like that. Good job. I'll get going. Few days later, the rioters were arrested and executed. The 5 rebels were officially defeated, and the mastermind Third Crown, Prince Rudolph of the Empire, was handed over for money and imprisoned in the Empire. They signed an impregnable pact for 5 years with the Empire faction, and of course, peace has returned to the Kingdom Prince Henry. How did you do it? The war with the Empire, hard for everyone this time, hence, I will award your merits. These following our people will be promoted. Wayne Kimball to lieutenant next is Mirko Patrick Rigsby, who has contributed to overthrowing the Rigsby family, will be made Viscount Snake and captain of the Mobile Regiment number 8. As Major Patrick got a promotion, but you need to understand who he is now. This is what the regiment is like. Now Patrick has a lot of people under his command, and the nobles are like this. Hence, descendants will always inherit property like this. After that, a party was held for lieutenants and people of higher rank. Pat, Aisha, you grow up so fast. Party attended by the noble families and high-ranking military officers, and of course, my mother's family. Baron Kanan is no exception. Pat, long time, no see great. You look very strong for me. They are the only people I can call family. The Kanan family. Pat, you might want to go back to your family and consider managing our territory. Dakos. Actually, that might help me a lot. I'm having trouble for suddenly becoming the breadwinner. Major Snake, son of Marquess Dixon. After the party ended, there was a big upheaval in the military. Wayne has left Patrick's Mobile Regiment No. 8, transferred to the Mobile Regiment No. 2, commanded by Vice Admiral Simon. Maybe it's because he's engaged to the daughter of a lieutenant general. He met at the party, and that's good too, as Mobile Regiment No. 8 was just formed. Unlike other regiments, their main task is to infiltrate and disturb behind the enemy to assassinate. Now it's going to be a fun camping trip for all members of the mobile team. 8. Just go find me in the woods. How about that? Training is essential. Up until now, everyone has been only practicing their physical strength by running, but we should get familiar with the mountain, our terrain. If anyone finds me, they will be rewarded. The fighters were surprised and wanted to earn extra money. Really? They looked for him for a very long time. I've searched all over, but still no clue. It's taking too long. I can't even walk anymore. It's morning already, but still no one can find me. I found a bird's egg here. What kind of bird will be hatched? Oh no. Stayed up all night training, go to sleep. Okay, eating horn. Worms can help to stay awake. This morning was supposed to be small archery training, but everyone's spirits weren't so good. So I made this training special the whole day. I and everyone played hide and seek. This egg is huge, but hasn't hatched yet. If we can't find him, we'll probably miss dinner too. Do you have any idea? Hornworm. Eating hornworms gives us energy right away. Ah, the egg. A snake. I thought it was a bird's egg. And in the end, no one got the reward, because I had to catch mice to feed my snake. This pet is so adorable. Suddenly Wayne came. Yo, Pat, Mobile Regiment 8, trained in the forest all night, huh? I wonder if I should teach them the importance of tracing, but they've been up all night, so it doesn't seem so good now. Wayne, it is rumored that you were trained by a lieutenant. Well, that's correct. But Team 8 is more than that, isn't it? Do you know what your team members call you? Major, of course. That's only for when they're with you. That's what they actually call you. The death. Huh? What? Patrick didn't immediately understand what Wayne said. Because your training is literally like hell after that, Team 8 was made to run like hell. The fighters were very tired. I'm dying. Say no more. Team 2 ended up doing the same physical training as Team 8. Patrick, beg you, ain't no way. From that day on, Team 2 also calls me the Death. It's nothing to worry about, but one thing caught my attention. A vast expanse of land that unites the two halves of former Baron Rigsby and former Viscount Harder. Manor. What should I do? Perhaps I should ask them for help. Sorry to bother you. Oh, welcome. Patrick. Is Butler Paul working? I wonder if he can satisfy the training. It's okay. Decours and Paul also practiced yesterday. Don't worry. May I come in? Welcome, Patrick. My bad, Viscount Snake. Uncle Trolla, please just call me Patrick as usual. I'm very glad that everyone looks so healthy. This time I came to discuss the management of the territory. Patrick, as you already know, the Canaan family is surrounded by fertile farmland. Of course, there's no shortage of talented people. Well then, looks like Paul's grandson will work for the Snakes. I wonder if he wants to be a butler. The maid who used to live with your mother will come to see the maid manager. Some of Canaan's people will also be transferred to the military territory, Paul. At that age, but still very flexible. I'm really not agile enough. I'll have to practice a lot when I return. And that is also the first mission of Team 8. Stampede happened apparently. The people here were reluctant to pay for them because they couldn't ask the army to prevent them. Highs. There's no way they could deceive us after having returned the capital to report for emergency. The sent team in the capital also came to reinforce the mission to rescue the New Garden family and kill the army of goblins have completed. Major is still pulling Cyclops' intestine out. No wonder. He is the Grim Reaper. Blood had been on Grim Reaper's hand, and then I was awarded. From Viscount to Earl. Viscount Hari's remaining territory is also under my control. Earl Patrick Fong Snake. Here is the reward. Take it. The bracelet? That's... It cannot be removed. So what if... Sorry, that was not my intent. Was it painful? No, it was my fault. Feel relieved when you're all right. Yes, it's okay. Then I'll leave now. Snake of the bracelet. I've returned to the army barracks. I think what it will not be nice if I still stay in the barracks when becoming an earl, but my territory is located too far from the capital, so it's not convenient. And there will be many other changes. The snake has already become big. You're growing up really fast, Pai-chan, but the breakup came suddenly. Monster! Master! What's wrong? There's a monster in Patrick's room. That's right. Barracks is a place where a lot of people live together. You can't selfishly bring up an animal like that. And I had to attend a lecture for over an hour. What should I do now? Immediately. Move out now. And then I became homeless. Is it okay to stay in the barracks? Because I didn't have anywhere to sleep at that time. So I slept in a tent set up at the training area. Because there's too much trouble. So I decided to take up real estate. So you want to find a place where you can move in right away. It's a bit small, but the houses here seem... Then I buy that place. Bother. Isn't that too big? Patrick said, looking at his house. It's so cheap to get a house like this with only 100 gold coins. But also the maintenance. I've probably forgotten about it. Pichon. From today, this place is our home. Now Patrick will live here with his pet.